moving into Georgia now. It covers all of Heard County. The good news is for you in LaGrange and around West Point Lake here in Troup County, the storm is likely going to be passing north of you. Now, even though the tornado may be, I'm still seeing indications here from stronger straight line winds around Roanoke. We could see some wind damage as a result of straight line winds. Although we didn't see the very heavy rainfall in northern, we saw the heaviest rainfall in northern Georgia, not so much down here. So we have some good news here as far as the ground not being saturated like it is.
Hey, Glenn, have you noticed this? Yeah. You see this little kind of hole there? That's an indication in this reflectivity of a powerful tornado. This is kind of, in a sense, like a tiny eye of a hurricane. That's the center of the circulation of the tornado showing up there. And so that's an indication, in addition to the velocity that we saw and the lofted debris signature, that this is a powerful tornado on the ground there in Randolph County. One thing that's important, though, that we point out is that this is passing now east of Highway 431 there. The real population in this area, the bulk of it is down towards Roanoke. So the center of this tornado is passing just north of that population center, Roanoke, at the bottom of the screen.
All right, I'm going to put my finger on this, and let's see if it's co-located on a velocity mode where we see the signature there. So there it is. A little bit here. Yep. Yeah, there it is. All right. So
and there's your lofted debris signature.
Yeah, there's the lofted debris for sure. But look what's happening downstream here toward Barrett Crossroads there. Also saw some very strong winds here as far as straight line wind. That's from Springfield down toward Barrett Crossroads there. So yeah, I would imagine in addition to the tornado threat, we have a strong straight line wind threat. But Brad pointed out there, yep, that's scoured out. Absolutely is. And there could be the center of that large tornado. Brad, let's kind of zoom on down to that. Let's see if we can take a little measurement across that area just to see maybe how wide that is. As far as the tornadoes go. So we've seen some impressive ones. So about a half a mile wide. That's pretty stout there. So about a half a mile wide across there. So that is a pretty robust storm to say the least with a half mile wide tornado. So that's again tracking toward the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So again, if you're just joining us, the tornado warning, and that's why we're covering this. Really a good signature here from the southeastern part of Randolph County in southeastern Alabama. That's where the storm is located, but we have the tornado warning in effect now for Heard County. So this includes the city of Franklin. It also includes central Hatchie, and I know you might be having a little anxiety here in Coweta County. So. And for good reason. So Waresville, it's 10 minutes from you. Viola, 17 minutes. Rock Ridge, 19 minutes. And Franklin, it's 21 minutes from you. So if you have any friends or relatives here in Coweta County, give them a call, give them a heads up. We have a tornado warning. Maybe some of you have gone to bed. We have a tornado warning now for Heard County that is now maybe going to be extended a little bit toward the northeast. Brad, have you seen any indication that is going to be the case there?
No, not yet.
Okay, so we'll still watch that. But now that tornado warning is bumping up the western border, western county line here of Coweta County. So I'd give you a little heads up here toward Newnan, maybe toward Grantville, that this storm is now approaching your area. It's kind of looking a little bit more ragged here. Let's check out some of the lightning on that, Brad, as well. So we can see... yeah, still plenty of that. Put the lightning counter on, and let's run them backwards here. Let's see if we have any decrease in the lightning strikes here. A little bit, yeah. So here we are at 11:27, 211 lightning strikes in a 15-minute time period. As we go forward in time, we'll stop the clock at our current time, and still pretty good light there going on there, Brad, around 211 strikes. So maybe maintaining its intensity as it moves now from the eastern part and southeastern part of Randolph County into the central part of Heard County. So very heavy rain now. Fall continues to the north of Franklin, much of northern Heard County, and looks like the hail core is right here bumping up against the county line. So Waresville, it's 8 minutes from you now. Over toward Viola, 14 minutes, Rock Ridge, 17 minutes, and Franklin, 19 minutes. So we have the ability here. Let's go back to the velocity mode, and let's take a storm track from the center of that circulation so we can really fine-tune that immensely here. So you can see a very good circulation here. This is, again, half a mile wide, as we just showed you. So as this moves into Heard County, we can kind of pinpoint really a little better storm track here than we would. So again, 8 minutes to Waresville, Viola at 16 now, 18 minutes into Rock Ridge, and Franklin 20 minutes. So really some strong straight line wind associated with the storm as well. But take cover, lowest floor possible. You know the drill by now, right? If you have any friends or relatives here, give them a call, give them a heads up that they may be asleep, getting ready for work or school in the morning, and they might not be aware that this is approaching. But again, with that heavy rainfall in the northern part of Heard County, I bet some people are being awakened right now as it moves through. So here we are again. Little notches are going on here. The air is going this way, and the air is coming around that way. You can see the circulation, and that purple area is hail embedded in that thunderstorm. So this is a supercell thunderstorm, a rotating thunderstorm. And again, up to the north here, where we've been clobbered all day long with just incredible amounts of rain here through the most of the day. And the rain has done a couple of things. One of the things it did was stabilize the atmosphere here through much of northern Georgia. Rain cooled air. So that was the good news. The warm front never budged all day long from its position. It's still in the same place it was in lunchtime this morning. So again, 76 degrees. Here's the warm air. So right down through here toward the I-85 corridor, right through Atlanta. We cooled down a little bit here in Carrollton, but you can see how cool these temperatures are. We warmed up a little bit here in Rome at 66. We were in the lower 60s earlier this afternoon, but still these lower 60s hanging on through much of Georgia, much of northern Georgia, so that's where the more stable air is. So that's why no warnings here, as those storms from Alabama, the northeastern part of Alabama, have moved into that stable air. We got a lot of rain here, and the other problem is, despite it being stable, it is just creating some unbelievable and catastrophic flooding in some areas. I've seen videos where sewers are just exploding up here in Bartow County, Floyd County, and Polk County as a result of the water. Now again, Brad, I'm glad you showed this here because the tornado watch is being canceled here through much of Alabama now. The most impressive area is going to be up here toward Middle Tennessee. The dynamics of this weather system, that's where that's all going. The upper level winds, those winds that are really keeping the air spinning across northern Georgia, now moving up toward Tennessee. So we're outracing the dynamics here. But still a pretty potent storm here as we get down toward Heard County. So tornado watches now being eliminated out of Gadsden, Alabama. And I do suspect that much of this area here in southeastern Alabama, including Randolph County perhaps too, here in the next 20, 30 minutes or so, that's going to be canceled. As Brad is showing a little bit of rotation here. Now this is in the southern part of Floyd County, northern part of Polk County, but right here is where the circulation could be elevated in the atmosphere, not really close to the ground and close proximity to the ground due to the fact that we do see those cold temperatures up there, but no warnings have been issued on that storm at all. So good news there. The circulation here is still very evident, the green and the red that are very close together, very close proximity to the radar site that we're using now out of Peachtree City. So that's what we want to get. The closer, the better we can get to a storm, the more structure we can see internally in the storm and figure out what's happening here. So Franklin, you're right in the path of this, so please take cover immediately. Down, lowest floor possible. And again, if you lose power, you can watch us, use your cell phone maybe, go to WSB-TV.com. We'll continue to watch the streaming video here. If the satellite dish you're using goes out, of course, WSB-TV.com. Just watch us, and we'll keep you informed every step of the way. I know that's kind of scary when you do lose power. Viola, 6 minutes from you. Rock Ridge, 8 minutes. Franklin, 10 minutes. And Dredden, 25 minutes from you. Brad, are we getting another warning coming out there?
No.
Not, okay. All right, so again, Central Hatchie down to Franklin. We're all under the tornado warning area. Still very good circulation here. Let's take a look at that on the query here. See if we can tell what kind of wind speed. Yeah, pretty good there. It's about hurricane force. 75 mile an hour is hurricane force, so pretty close to that right now. This has been a bad night, folks. We've had 5 fatalities in Alabama today as a result of these tornadoes, even though they were well warned. People knew to take cover, but these storms have been really powerful. A lot of them in that, I would say, EF3 to EF4 really producing quite a bit of damage in Alabama. It has been absolutely horrible situation out there. We really need to say our prayers for those folks out there having to endure that, what they did today. But now Here in Georgia, we're still seeing the storms now moving into Heard County. This is the southwestern part of metro Atlanta now, to the northern reaches of West Point Lake. So this is Troup County here. Here we have Heard County, and there's West Point Lake right here. Done a lot of fishing down there in my days. So again, that's where the circulation is. But Brad, I'm not really seeing...
It's really weakened quite a bit, that circulation.
Yes.
That's what I'm showing this time lapse. You can see very clearly that bright green and red right next to each other, and then it just kind of spreads out as it's moving now into Georgia. We still have that tornado warning there for Heard County, but does not look as strong as it did even 10 minutes ago.
No, in fact, this has been a rather long track tornado. We started tracking the storm when we got warned on that just before 11 o'clock tonight. And we came on the air with that warning for you immediately. But now we're starting to see a little better signatures on debris here. So this was lofted debris, leaves, tree limbs, and the like being lifted there. The straight line wind is another concern of mine here, right here. See that all the way down through the central part of Heard County, green to red in that very short distance. I would bet we got some 60-mile-an-hour straight line winds as a result of that. So if you live here in Coweta County and just to the west of I-85 now, just be prepared for those stronger winds, those straight line winds to be moving into your area. So got any stuff outside that might be blowing around? Now's the time to bring that in. Get inside as soon as you can. Now we have some very heavy rainfall moving in that general area as well. I'm going to put on the lightning tracker. So here again, we're using the radar out of Peachtree City of the National Weather Service because it's right next to the storm here. So the lightning here, let's put the lightning counter on 133 strikes in the last 15 minutes. We roll it back a little bit. Then we'll roll it forward again. We can see if there's a general increase or decrease of the lightning. So if you look back there, that first frame, we had over 200 lightning strikes. There you go. And as the storm now continues to move toward the northeast, the lightning is pretty much lessening quite a bit. In fact, half of what it was when it was in Alabama. Still pretty good, though. Here, 130 strikes in the last 15 minutes. You got 2 of those being the positive strikes. So central Hatchie, a lot of lightning, thunder, locally heavy rainfall. And watch out for those strong gusty winds between central Hatchie and Franklin right now. So some serious cloud-to-ground lightning. Stay away from windows and doors, appliances and the like. You want to be... again, be weather aware here. So Randolph County, Heard County, the tornado warning will continue now, is beginning now to move out of Randolph County in Alabama. The tornado warning is being canceled for the western part of that county, but still in effect for most of the heart of Heard County. Includes central Hatchie, does include Franklin, and the extreme northern tributaries here of West Point Lake. Here, see going up the Chattahoochee River right here. So storm really getting ready to move across this area in short order with some strong gusty winds. Brad, let's take a look at some of the rainfall amounts that we've seen through this area too. Again, very heavy rainfall has been in North Georgia, but the rainfall amounts have been rather impressive here too along that line. See these yellow areas here? That's probably in the order of 1-2 inches of rain, and that's coming down in a very short period of time. So just a little smidgen left. So yeah, about 2 inches here. In many areas. So not as much rain as we've seen in northern Georgia. In fact, a third of what we've seen in some areas here. Here's the heaviest rainfall here. This is the storm we tracked. This was the same storm that hit Alabama that was on the ground for hours and hours. Rainfall in excess of 5 inches. And that's why we're very concerned even with non-severe thunderstorms in this area because of this locally heavy rainfall. The ground, you know what happens at Georgia clay, is just mush, mush, mush. And it can't really support tree roots there when you have winds, maybe 30, 40 miles per hour. So again, caution here urged in Cedartown and Polk County, Rome and Floyd County up toward Cartersville, and maybe over toward Canton as well. North of Canton, almost 3 inches of rain here. Here are the flood warnings now and watches that we continue to show you throughout the area. The darker ones are the flood warnings that continue now through much of this area, and the flash flood watch now for the lighter shades of green. That will continue through much of the overnight hours on up to the North Georgia mountains. So really incredible rainfall amounts. And again, I've seen just flowing rivers of water down streets at times here this afternoon in much of this area. So kind of the rainfall we're seeing here. Again, very notchy looking here. Don't like the looks of that with the air's going into that storm like that. So watching this very carefully now. Don't see a really identifiable signature like we did before, but there's a circulation that's going on in that storm. So Central Hatchie to Franklin, moving toward the east. Brad, we had about 45 miles an hour.
That's right, but it's been between 40 and 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, Franklin, you have 2 minutes to prepare. Dresden, about 18 minutes. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. We'll be on the air for about 12 hours now, so bear with us. So I know you live here in Coweta County. You're saying, what's going to happen to me? We're waiting to see what the National Weather Service decides, whether the storm weakens or not, or whether they extend this tornado warning into Coweta County. But be heads up here in Newnan, down toward Grantville, maybe even up toward Whitesburg here in southeastern Carroll County. Again, the storm motion here, regardless of any tornado threat, is going to produce some strong wind threats here. You can see here these notches that are going on in that storm here. I just don't like the looks of that at all when you see that air going in like that and back out like that. And there's the core of hail that is also moving through the south central part of Heard County to the southwest of Central Hatchie. So it's going to be moving right across the Chattahoochee River in short order. Still seeing the circulation most prominent right now in and around Franklin. Let's take a look at the wind speed right there, Brad. See what we have here. Yeah, pretty impressive here, going 69 miles an hour away from the radar. But let's get down one more pixel down there.
Oh, just below that? Sure.
Yeah, just below that. Just that.
Let me clear that out so we're not so cluttered.
All right.
But yeah, we've got some, now we're just updating there as it gets a little closer to Franklin. That's still 68 miles an hour in one direction and then a little less in the opposite. So we're talking a good, 70, 80 mile an hour of shear there as that storm is moving through Heard County, moving towards Franklin. This is not as impressive as a radar signature compared to what it looked like about 45 minutes ago when it first developed in Alabama, but it is still capable of producing damaging winds and tornado touchdowns with this. It continues to spread damaging wind threat around Franklin, passing near just to the south of Central Hatchie. Let me remove some of this and you can see the city and then also the blue line. That's the Chattahoochee River as it runs through Heard County. So if you're watching in Franklin now, in Heard County, you need to seek shelter immediately. That means the lowest level of your house, interior room, away from windows. Tornado warning in effect. We have a radar indicated tornado moving rapidly, about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So just a minute from moving through the heart of Franklin and then about 16 minutes to Dresden. That's out in Coweta County. Newnan as well, of course, 25 minutes. Oak Lawn and Moreland. So this storm is definitely moving into Coweta County. The question that we're going to be answering here in the minutes ahead is whether or not it will continue to pose a tornado threat into Coweta County. For now, the tornado warning does not extend into Coweta County. We'll let you know if that changes, but the tornado warning remains in effect for near Franklin for Heard County. I also want to point this out. There's still a little sliver of an active tornado warning back into Randolph County, Alabama, but the severe weather threat is completely over for now from this particular storm in Randolph County, Alabama. So if you're watching there, you can be assured that the threat from this particular storm has now passed towards your east. But the worst of it, right over Franklin now, and it continues its track towards the east. So if you are in the path of this, again, lowest level of your house, if you have a basement, that's your best choice. Your second best choice, obviously, the ground floor, but lowest level. Then you get to an interior room. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And then after you go to the lowest level, an interior room, make sure you're away from windows. You don't want to be in the area where we could have some broken glass. So some of the streets around here, right through the heart of Franklin, Beavis Road, River Road, there's Franklin Parkway that extends to the north, Redland Road back towards the west, and Dean Road up along the Chattahoochee River. Those are the areas that are being impacted by this storm right now, the potential for damaging winds and tornado touchdowns, Glenn.
Isabel, that's moving right at you there. Again, this is now going to be moving into the western part of Coweta County, so we just want you to be weather aware. Now is not the time to head to bed just yet here in Coweta County. We just want to keep you informed every step of the way. As the storm is heading in your direction, it's shown a little bit of weakening, but still looks rather formidable. And regardless of a tornado situation, we're still looking at the possibility of some stronger straight line winds. Let's go back to the reflectivity mode.
Yep. Well, while I'm doing that, Glenn, let me also point this out. The tornado watch has been canceled for eastern Alabama, including Randolph and Cleburne counties, part of our viewing area.
That is certainly some good news. We have some more rain out here. That does not look too impressive, just heavy rain. And the tornado warning now extending into Coweta County. So that's just an update right there. So the National Weather Service has decided to extend the tornado warning into Coweta County. It does include Newnan, and that will continue to, I think, be under the gun here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that warning, Glenn, is in effect until 12:15. Radar indicated tornado and also some large hail, about ping pong ball size hail.
Wow.
And then the potential for those tornado touchdowns really wrapped up where you see that kind of hook shape there near Franklin.
Yep, right
That's
here.
a radar signature of a tornado. So Franklin up towards Whispering Pines, you're under the gun right now, and this threat is going to carry into Coweta County.
It is indeed, and now the tornado warning has been extended toward the east. There's the core of hail. Here's Franklin. Here's the inflow notch where the air is coming in like that. And then below Franklin, we're stretched down here across the Chattahoochee. That's some straight line wind. That is some really powerful wind right here. So outside of the tornado threat and just to the south of that too, we could see some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Brad's putting the storm track on here. So Franklin moving into your area now. Dresden, you have 14 minutes to prepare. Now 13. Gloverton, 21 minutes. Newnan, 23 minutes. And Oak Lawn, about 23 minutes. This straight line wind threat is likely to be really ramping up around Franklin and over toward Dresden. So, Brad, let's take a look again.
That's a tremendous hook signature there. That's a tornado or a storm that is very soon to produce a tornado near Franklin. Again, seek shelter, lowest level interior room away from windows from Franklin to Newnan. Newnan, time's running out for you. You've got a few minutes to get to your safe space. If you have friends or family in Coweta County, Newnan, and Westmoreland, some of those areas of western Coweta County, wouldn't be a bad idea to give them a call now and wake them up and let them know a tornado likely to be produced by this thunderstorm over Heard County, near Franklin now, crossing the Chattahoochee River as we speak, and moving into Coweta County. So friends and family, if you've got them there in eastern parts of Heard County and through Coweta County, give them a ring, wake them up, and let them know that we're tracking this tornado now live, and it has the potential for very significant damage. We've already seen the history with these storms today of just devastating homes and entire neighborhoods, and this storm has the potential to do that type of damage, taking out buildings and causing just a tremendous amount of damage. And in addition to that, the large hail, ping pong ball size hail, can cause significant roof damage, can cause damage to a vehicle. If you're out ahead of this, don't want to do this as the storm is there, but if you're out ahead of this in Coweta County and you have a car or a truck outside, you can pull it into a garage, a carport. Do that, because in addition to the potential for debris flying around from a tornado, some very large hail going to be moving through, and that can cause some significant damage as well. So again, a likely tornado near and just to the northeast of Franklin. Let me show you what I'm talking about when we talk about the hook. You can see kind of that little notch right here, but what we're looking at is the rain itself being twisted or wrapped up with this rotating wind. So it gives us kind of this hook shape, or we call it a hook echo, and that's a classic radar signature, kind of a textbook signature of what a tornado looks like on radar. So that's what we're looking at. And to the north here, where you see all of this purple, that's all large hail. That's that ping pong ball size hail, and then those damaging winds and the tornado potential is just south of that hail. So passing now east of Franklin, off towards Enon Grove, Wilson Store, and then that's going to continue to spread towards the east. Let me switch modes here to the velocity mode, and you can see the areas that I've drawn here in the telestrator. Those are the areas that also encircle the red and the green, where they come together. That's where we have that strong rotation. And then what we're looking at here, where this dark blue is, not out front so much, but right here where I have circled, that is lofted debris. That is potentially parts of buildings, we hope not, but also it could be dirt, leaves, branches, twigs. And so this particular product, the correlation coefficient, shows what's being picked up by the radar. The rain kind of uniform in appearance, and that's indicated by high correlation, those kind of red colors. And then the low correlation is when you got a lot of varied size, a lot of junk or debris in this case, in the atmosphere, and that's indicated by those blue colors. So that lofted debris signature has now tracked a little bit farther to the east. So you're talking about Alder Road, just west of Wilson's Store, likely tornado on the ground in Heard County there, Glenn.
Yep, and see, you can really see that hail core here, very evident. That's ping pong ball size hail. That's a big hail. That would prompt a severe thunderstorm.
Yeah, and then look at this, Glenn. Hail to the north, but this high reflectivity, the purple, that's debris being picked up by the radar.
Yeah, unbelievable. Really is a lot going on here. So Wilson Store, if that sounds familiar, please take cover immediately around there. Bob Wilson Road, also toward Elm Road. All these areas are in the path of this storm. With the addition of the tornado, there's a strong straight line wind threat here. If we go from that gradient from green into the red at a very short distance, just a couple of miles, that really tells us we may be seeing 60-mile-per-hour straight line winds to go along with the storm, as well as the very heavy rainfall and the tornado threat. So I want you to be weather aware there. Let's zoom out a little bit, because I know folks in Coweta County are up now. They're probably very concerned. Anxiety's up off the charts here.
Before I do that, let me switch over to our 3D radar. You can see this is the 3D representation of this tornado that's moving through this area now.
So again, this is exclusive to WSB with our Storm Tracker 2 in HD here. So in 3D, you can really see the structure of the storm and what's going on in it. So again, tornado warnings for Heard County, Coweta County, and this is the structure of this supercell thunderstorm here. Really high cloud tops, lots of hail, updrafts, winds going all over the place, and it's moving into a terrible environment because the temperatures are very, very warm. That's not a misread on your screen there. It's 76 degrees. That's what it is in Atlanta, and we're looking at a core of the storm up there. So really, the structure is just incredible with the supercell thunderstorm here. This is an entire storm that is rotating. This is a supercell thunderstorm. Look at the structure on this with the anvil top on it. Just really impressive storm here. Below ground, though, when you're on the ground underneath one of those.
Here you can see it, Glenn. This is the rotation in the storms in 3 dimension, the wind blowing towards and away from the radar site. So the red here blowing away, the green towards, and what we're looking at here is a 3-dimensional representation of this supercell thunderstorm, and then underneath it down towards Franklin and just to the little east now, that's where we have the tornado on the ground. Yeah,
and when they're in that close proximity like that, and very assured that that is a definite signature of the tornado, nothing that we're just estimating. So yeah, that is pretty much confirmation of what we're seeing here and what's been reported by our National Weather Service brothers out there. So again, supercell thunderstorm here that we're showing you in 3D, just an incredibly powerful storm. Generating showers, storms, intense cloud-to-ground lightning, severe wind in excess of 60 miles an hour, and tornadoes. So here we got the NROT. Is that?
Yeah, this is the normalized rotation, and what I'm trying to highlight here is just those areas where we've got the highest values. But what's really so impressive with this, Glenn, is not only do we have high values of normalized rotation, but look how high up in the atmosphere that's a column of rotation that is up to, yes, that's about 50,000 feet into the atmosphere, 10 miles almost, 9 miles of kind of a column of vertical rotation or extends vertically. That's just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely is. And we're in a very, very unstable environment as far as the air goes. This is moving into the areas that are south of the warm front. That warm front has been stalled right across I-20 through most of the day today. North of our warm front, we've had a cool, stable environment where we saw the
here's a better look
60s.
at it.
Yeah, this is the normalized rotation, that what we call NROT here. Look at that, really climbing up there into the atmosphere. So rotating wind right here. We have a distinct advantage having this exclusively here at WSB-TV. You will see this nowhere else. And look at the structure of that storm with the anvil top shooting off of there. The hail core is up in here. The stronger winds below that are really spinning and twisting in the atmosphere in this warm and unstable environment. And there you see the green and the red. You get under the bed. So again, just an incredibly strong supercell thunderstorm. That was one violent-looking tornado we saw on the radar there a little while ago. But again, you're up better than 40,000 feet. There's the column of rotating wind. There's the freezing level, as you see in the red lines there. So that's where the hail is above that core. So we're seeing just the dynamics of this weather system being just absolutely off the charts here. So back to our mode here. I know we're getting into the meteorology of all this, but the stronger straight line wind. Brad, I want you to track this part of the storm right here. We come down from that inflow notch along that area of really a strong gradient there. So that is moving toward the east at about 40, 45, 5 minutes into Dresden. Newnan, that's 15 minutes from you. Over towards Sharpsburg, 27 minutes, Turin in 28 minutes. This is a straight line wind threat as well as being a tornado threat, locally heavy rainfall and intense cloud to ground lightning. Here's the rotation of the green and the red that are very close together. So right in there, back to, we're getting a little bit close to the radar now. Look at the intense cloud to ground lightning here. Brad put the lightning counter on there. This is really some impressive lightning there. So you're looking live right now in Newnan here around, let's see, Amlajack Boulevard, Newnan, Georgia. Total lightning strikes up at around 133. 6 of them are the positive lightning strikes. So again, lightning is another major hazard with this storm. Don't want to be outside at all here. I'm sure that we've got some airport stoppage here going here. So we're looking at, again, right here in Newnan, just a tremendous amount of just basically continuous cloud to ground lightning with the storm. It is just ramping up a little bit now to 141. So the lightning is now intensifying again. And we have 7 of those being the positive lightning strikes. The largest concentration of the lightning now is to the northwest of Newnan. So northern.
Hey Glenn, I got to jump in here and show you this. We can pick up the actual, what's called the descending reflectivity core.
There it is, yeah.
The actual tornado. If we can lose that banner at the bottom of the screen for just a moment, the way this sets up, it ends up there at the bottom. But right here, you can see this area that extends down kind of a column there. Let me erase this yellow and we'll just focus on the red. There you can see it more clearly. So you see this part right here. That is the descending reflectivity core. That's the portion of the storm under which the tornado develops. In fact, in the sense, it's the vertical extent of the tornado up through the supercell. And then you see that white spot on the ground. That is the debris signature. That's a debris ball right there at the very bottom. We can take some of this red away, and you can see that even more clearly.
Yeah, you can really see it's right associated with the notch that we showed you there, where the air is going in like that. So that's where that column is of rotating air. So again, what we were dealing with, and we talked about this yesterday, were supercell thunderstorms. And boy, that's the classic one, if I've ever seen one, with the anvil top shooting off, the descending reflectivity core, a large core of hail embedded in that storm. It's just a classic supercell thunderstorm, very violent, most powerful thunderstorms in existence. And you can see where we see the green and the red on this particular view. We're looking at it in 3D of this impressive supercell thunderstorm. Let's head back to our normal radar, Brad, our Storm Tracker 2, and take a look at, again, the storm now that is moving into Coweta County. If you're just joining us now, the lightning has really ramped up again, up to 173 lightning strikes here in the last 15 minutes. The circulation continues. These are long track tornadoes, as we saw today. There's the inflow notch, and what we were looking at on the 3D was right here where we see that inflow notch. So that's where we see the tornado, and back into the velocity mode we go. I want to show you some of the rotation here. So again, the green and the red are very close together, very high velocities here. So the rotation continues now, moving out of Randolph County in Alabama into Coweta County. So here we are in Newnan. So we're looking at some wind here that's 79 miles an hour going away from the radar. So 75 mile per hour wind is a hurricane force wind. We have this at 79 miles per hour. So again, that inflow notch right here, along with the strong and powerful straight line winds. I think here in Coweta County, we're going to get hammered pretty good here through much of the next couple of hours or so as it marches toward the east-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. We're looking at a live picture from our tower cam in Newnan, and you can see pretty much continuous cloud-to-ground lightning in there. Newnan itself, the city of Newnan, we're going to get killed right now with some strong straight-line winds. These are some very powerful winds here, but to the southwest of you is where we see that tornado. So again, the trajectory here Let's put it in motion if we can. There you go. Put it in. So about 49, 50 miles per hour. So cities in the path now include Dresden, Newnan, Oak Lawn, Sharpsburg, Peachtree City, and Tyrone, all in the path of this storm here. So in addition to the tornado threat, we have the strong straight line wind threat as well. That'll be covering now Newnan, Oak Lawn, Sharpsburg, and Dresden. Dresden, we're about to get hit right now from the heart of that storm where it is producing the tornado. Down to the basement, interior part of the house, away from windows and doors. No time to panic, just remain calm and just do that and just get yourself into a safe place no matter where it is. Drag a mattress off the bed and cover yourself with it if you have to. Pillows will work the same way. Intense cloud-to-ground lightning will continue north of that area. So now we need to be concerned downstream here in toward Peachtree City in Fayette County. So we were looking at that storm now being extended again into perhaps Fayette County. We don't see that yet, but that is a possibility. This has been a long-track tornado. We've been tracking it for an hour. So it's been on the ground for an hour now. So these are very long-track tornadoes. The one we tracked in Alabama, we tracked for 3 hours on the ground. That's the worst storm as far as tornado threat I've ever seen. And for 3 hours, it traveled 150 miles on the ground. Can you imagine that? Really did a lot of damage in and around Birmingham. And we'll show you some of that video a little bit later. Also did quite a bit of damage in northwestern Georgia because it developed at 1:30 this afternoon, and we were still tracking at 4:30 this afternoon. Here is, again, if you're just joining us, if you're being awakened by the loud clamor of lightning and thunder and locally heavy rainfall, we have a tornado on the ground, and we've been tracking that for an hour. So wood smoke, Cedar Trace, Pine Hills, East Newnan, Oak Lawn, let's see, Corinth Road, Stevens Crossroads in the path of the storm here. So there's the notch where the air's going in like that and coming around like that. So perfect circulation right here. So it had just moved right across Dresden. If you are seeing any damage outside your house, don't go outside. If you can, take a picture out your window because that's what we'd like to see of the damage. If the all clear has been given in your area and things have quieted down there, maybe some pictures if you can. But in the meantime, we don't want you going outside at all. The straight line wind threat really continues right down through the heart of Coweta County now. So Newnan, I would bet your winds are in the order of 40 to 60 miles an hour right now. So again, very powerful straight line winds in addition to the hail threat and the locally heavy rain threat, right?
Yeah, what I want to add here is that for those of you watching in Heard County, we talked about Franklin, all of Heard County, this storm has now moved to your east. So that tornado threat from this storm has come to an end for now in Heard County, but it continues. In fact, it looks like it's strengthening a little bit here in Coweta County. This tornado warning in effect until 12:15, and this storm really now wrapping up. And what we can highlight here is you see this green and red just southwest of downtown Newnan. So we're talking Cedar Trace, Woodstown, for those of you in the Hearthstone subdivision and out towards East Newnan, Oak Lawn, you need to seek shelter immediately. This storm has the potential to produce tornado touchdowns. The tornado may be on the ground right now or touchdown at any moment. This is a live look from our tower cam in Newnan at nearly continuous cloud-to-ground lightning. There's a tremendous amount of lightning there in addition to the heavy rain, the ping-pong ball-size hail, and now we have radar-indicated tornado near Cedar Trace just southwest of downtown Newnan. So I'm going to draw a measurement here. The center of this portion of the storm producing a likely tornado now is about 4.7 miles southwest of downtown Newnan. If you're watching here in Coweta County, you need to seek shelter immediately. So listen up. Here's what that means for you. Lowest level of your house, a basement if you have one's your best choice. Interior room, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And then once you do all that, you want to make sure you're away from windows. So Cedar Trace, Wood Smoke, the Hearthstone subdivision, there's Smoky Road, Corinth Road, LaGrange Street, southwest of Newnan, East Broad Street, from East Newnan down towards, that is East Gordon Road, Oak Lawn. If you live in and around these neighborhoods and these streets, now is the time for you to seek shelter. We know we talk about a tornado warning for Coweta County. That covers a big area, and I know sometimes people don't want to seek shelter because it's inconvenienced late at night. But if you are in the path of this, you really need to seek shelter immediately. We've got tremendous amount of strong winds right here. And we're talking about between 78-mile-an-hour winds in one direction, and then just a few hundred feet or so, maybe a few thousand feet to the north, 56-mile-an-hour winds in the opposite direction. That is a sign of tremendous rotation. So this is a potential for a powerful tornado touching down there near and to the southwest of downtown Newnan, and it's going to continue its track to the east. It's moving at about 50 miles an hour now. I'm going to give you a heads up now in Peachtree City. Warning has not been issued for you, but it's headed generally in that direction. So we'll put a storm track here on this. This is just a classic look of a rotating thunderstorm with a tornado there with that green and red that I've highlighted, drawing the storm track from that, moving through Newnan in only 4 minutes. On the right side of your screen, you see the nearly continuous cloud-to-ground lightning. That's not letting up. Heads up in Sharpsburg, Peachtree City, and Shannon. If this tornado holds together long enough, it will move into your area at these times. Newnan in 3 minutes, Sharpsburg in 14, Peachtree City 18 minutes, Shannon 27. If you're watching in Sharpsburg, Peachtree City, Shannon, now would be a good time to head to the lowest level of your house interior room. Glenn, what you're highlighting there is that what it appears to be on radar, a confirmed tornado.
Absolutely is, and it's just not too far from Newnan here, just to the southwest.
Look at that
There's
lofted debris.
Yeah, there it is, absolutely. Now, the radar we're using right now is the Peachtree City National Weather Service radar, and we're using that because the closer you are to a storm, the better idea you can have of the structure of the storm. But this, right around the Hearthstone subdivision, Timberland Trail subdivision, I'm hoping this is not part of a house or something going up in there. That's debris being lofted to the air. We just hope it's maybe tree limbs or something like that. So again, just to the south of Newnan, this is really going strong here. We've been tracking this tornado on the ground for the better part of an hour. So this has been a powerful storm here, and it's in an environment that's totally different than the storms that moved into far northern Georgia earlier today, where we had temperatures of the low 60s. So the heart of the storm here in temperatures in the mid 70s right now across Smoky Acres. Look at the winds here. Boy, oh boy, that's this is an EF4, EF5 for sure here. That's
Glenn, look at this. We're talking 77-mile-an-hour winds in opposite directions from each other, at 0.2 of a mile apart. And what that tells us is we have extreme winds rotating right here. This is a tornado on the ground, likely near the Smoky Acres area, just east of the Hearthstone subdivision now. This moved right over Hearthstone and Timberland Trail, and we'll go over to the lofted debris signature, and you can see there's a tremendous amount of debris there. Unfortunately, moving through a populated area, it's certainly quite possible that we have damage that's occurring to buildings. And now as the radar sweeps by and updates, you can see how rapidly that's moving to the east. Let me let you take over here and update. Oh, look at this, Glenn. This is lofted debris, likely tornado on the ground. We're talking about in Newnan right now. Just tremendous rotation. LaGrange Street, Spring Street, near and just south of downtown Newnan. Likely tornado impacting buildings, homes, and businesses in this area right now. About to cross Greenville Street there south of downtown.
You're looking at pictures here from I-85 and Spence Road here. Those are live pictures. Very, very heavy rainfall there. East Broad Street, we're about to get hit. Berry Avenue. And zoom out a little bit more, Brad, because this is right in line, unfortunately, with the National Weather Service office in Peachtree City. So moving again toward the east-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So here we have Peachtree City, huge population density here. Turin, very high population density. This is moving in that direction. So friends, relatives around Peachtree City, give them a call, give them a heads up. It's midnight. Probably in bed. Look at the cloud-to-ground lightning there at Spence Road there. So we're tracking this toward Newnan in about a minute from now. So
let me expand the view. I couldn't get it out far enough to actually represent the actual speed, which is closer to 50 miles an hour. So give me a second and I'll fix that.
Okay. Yep. So this is really an impressive signature showing up.
There we go.
Newnan right now, Peachtree City 22 minutes, Fayetteville 24 minutes, and we'll see about 26
Glenn,
minutes
that's
from now.
13 minutes to Peachtree City.
13 minutes right to Peachtree City. So again, there you see the storm, the center of circulation. We have straight line wind going along with that, moving in that general direction. So Peachtree City. So anybody here in the western part of Fayette County, just be prepared. In fact, I would go to my safe place right now. This is a fast moving and a dangerous storm. We're looking at, again, that hole right there is probably tree limbs and trees and parts of houses, and hopefully that's about it. So again, a large core of hail.
That's a debris ball. That purple there.
That's debris.
Yeah, you know, with the radar, that's what hail typically would look like on radar, because hail is big chunks of ice in the atmosphere. But what we're actually seeing here, unfortunately, is likely big chunks of debris. That's a debris ball, we call it. On the radar there near Newnan, now passing to the eastern side of Newnan. So we have, unfortunately, a tremendous supercell thunderstorm, likely a tornado moving through the Newnan area right now. If you haven't sought shelter, you need to do it at this moment. But that's not just the case for Newnan. Just a heads up towards White Oak, off towards Eastwood Estates as it crosses through the east-northeastern parts of Newnan here over the next few minutes. Tremendous tornado threat. Lowest level interior room away from windows where you need to go.
Yeah. You look at the straight line wind threat too from about Country Manor right on down the line of this. So really green to red. Oh, red's a really short distance here. So again, watch out for some powerful straight line winds aside from that tornado threat around Country Manor to Briarwood to Creekwood to Long Street. All those areas in the path of this storm. This is a really well-defined system. I just hate to see this, and we just hope, you know, I know people's lives are going to be changed out of this. Really, this is a horrific tornado here. It's been on the ground. We've been tracking it for over an hour, so very long track storm here. So really, it has been coming and going as far as intensity goes, but really well defined now. And the correlation coefficient, here's the shear. You can see tremendous amount of wind shear here going around East Broad Street up toward the McBride area. So
I mean, that's 40 meters per second per kilometer. You know, I mean, that's kind of, you know, geeky data talk, but we're talking about really some incredible wind shear here as we pull on the winds themselves. Just look how powerful these winds are. The bright colors indicate that, and how closely nestled together they are. This is not a broad rotation of a big thunderstorm. What we're picking up is the rotation focused in a very narrow spot. This is a tornado that is now on the east side of Newnan and tracking towards the east, Glenn. We've got some new information. I'm going to step over here and grab the latest. We've got a tornado warning that's been expanded off towards the east now.
We see that.
All right, so we've got... All right, so the National Weather Service Office, Glenn, got some new information here. National Weather Service Office is issuing a tornado emergency. A tornado emergency has been issued for the city of Newnan right now. That means a powerful tornado has been confirmed and is moving through populated parts of Newnan. Right now, we have radar indication of the rotation, but also of the debris. This tornado has produced some significant damage across Coweta County. Tornado emergency has been issued for Newnan, and it's now on the eastern side of Newnan and continuing to track towards the east. The tornado warning has been expanded and extended to the east, so it now includes Fayette County, northeastern Coweta, south central Fulton County, now part of this tornado warning, and southwestern Clayton County until 12:45. Let me expand the view, and you can see these areas. So we're talking about near and just to the south of Fairburn, up towards Riverdale. It includes Fayetteville, Peachtree City, just north of Sonoy. These areas are in the path of this storm. A deadly tornado emergency now for Newnan. This is a particularly dangerous situation, and we implore you, please seek shelter immediately if you're in the path of this storm.
Yeah, and again, we're using the Peachtree City National Weather Service radar. That's that circle right here. That's where the radar site is. So We may get something knocked out here because here's where the tornado is and here's where the radar is. We may be switching back to our radar here in Buckhannon and Haralson County in short order. But for now, we're keeping that as the storm now. The warning has been extended through much of eastern Coweta County, southwestern part of Fulton County, south and western part of Clayton County, and northern and central Fayette County. It does include Tyrone, Fayetteville, Peachtree City, all of these areas. And again, we can't urge you enough. Please take cover immediately. A mattress, get it over your head, pillows. Make sure you get the kids, don't panic them, but just, say we have a little problem here. We're going down to the basement. We're going to the interior part of the house. We're going into the closet. So we need, again, this is a strong storm. It's not only producing a tornado, but likely some straight line wind damage as well. A really impressive signature here. Brad, query some of the wind down here that is now moving towards Sullivan Road. So there.
Yeah, I mean, this is base velocity, so we're not accounting for the forward speed. 85 mile an hour winds and 18. But as we switch over to the storm relative velocity, it gives us a better.
Classic.
Yeah, this relative velocity accounts for the forward speed of the storm, and just look at that. It's incredible. Yeah,
absolutely is. And the green and the red are very close together here. Again, now we have double debris signatures here showing up on the radar here. So, boy, that's a bad storm here. So that's debris being lofted into the air. So it looks like for the most part it has passed by Newnan, but you can see debris signatures in and around Newnan. So probably some damage here. We need to send our crews down there, by the way, alerting our producers. Likely going to be some pretty catastrophic damage in and around the city of Newnan. Very highly populated, lots of buildings, lots of trees, lots of homes, lots of people. And it's the people we're concerned about right now. Things you can replace, not the people. Debris signature continues here. So here's Peachtree City, National Weather Service. There's the National Weather Service radar we're using right there. That's what that hole is. So again, that's where the tornado is headed, basically into Fayette County, in and along where Peachtree City is. So friends, relatives in that Peachtree City area you think may have gone to bed, give them a call, wake them up. We have a tornado emergency here. So this is a very bad situation. This is one powerful supercell thunderstorm that continues to show no signs of weakening. It is in an area where temperatures are in the mid-70s, extremely unstable environment right now. And we're losing some of the upper level wind support. That's in far northern Alabama and Tennessee right now, but still, this is in a favorable environment as far as temperatures go, so very unstable air.
Yeah, let me jump in and get just a little update here. Now the tornado emergency continues for Newnan, and just to the east, this tornado warning for Coweta County until 1 o'clock in the morning. This is a particularly dangerous situation. The language tornado emergency and particular dangerous situation is saved for situations just like this. A confirmed tornado on the ground, a large, destructive, deadly tornado moving through populated areas. This is the highest level of threat and emergency that Glenn and I can communicate to you. Again, tornado warning until 1 a.m. This is a deadly tornado on the ground near the Thomas Crossroads area that's just east of Newnan. I'm looking here, that's looks like State Road 34, Andrew Bailey Road. There's a Pet Paradise there, a Sam's Club, and a Costco just to the east of this, and that's also just west of Peachtree City. So those of you in Peachtree City, you know where the Costco and the Sam's Club is, just to your west. And Winds Pond, the Windmead neighborhood, Woods Mill, Wisdom Wood, West Park, Twiggs Corner, Aberdeen. These are the neighborhoods there in Peachtree City that are likely to be impacted by this tornado over the next several minutes. Seek shelter immediately. This is a tornado emergency.
Yep. So again, if you're just joining us, we're doing continuous coverage here at WSB. We have a tornado on the ground. It is a large, violent tornado. The tornado warning now being extended through much of northern Fayette County, including Tyrone, Fayetteville, extending into southern Fulton County as well. Likely going to be some airport stoppages here in short order. So again, the radar site we're using here is in Peachtree City. That's what that circle is there. So the close proximity gives us a little better idea of the structure of the storm. But again, a large, violent tornado moved through Newnan. Tornado emergency was declared there. We're seeing lofted debris. We're seeing powerful straight-line winds moving toward Tyrone and Peachtree City now. Been confirmed by our radar where the debris is being lofted into the air. So large, powerful tornado. And you're looking at the temperatures on the screen here being in the mid-70s. Well, that's what it is, and that's the problem. We have a warm front that's kind of been straddling Atlanta. I-20 to the south is where we see the warmer temperatures. To the north of I-20, the cooler temperatures. But now it's moving into this more unstable air south of the warm front, and that's why it's maintaining its power. We thought these would be long-track tornadoes, and again, this has been on the ground. We started just before 11 o'clock. When the tornado warning was issued, and here we are at 12:18 with continuous tornado warning. So again, another very violent, long-track tornado. Again, in Alabama today, I know we saw a lot of damage in northwestern Georgia from a storm that actually developed southwest of Birmingham at 1:30 this afternoon, and it was on the ground for 150 miles. We tracked it continuously for 3 hours this afternoon, and really hard-hit areas in parts of Alabama. So Peachtree City and Tyrone, you're now seeing some straight-line wind damage likely here as we get close to the radar. Here's the circulation now just to the west, northwest of Peachtree City. Highly densely populated area here. There's the couplet, the green and the red that are very close together in close proximity. And again, but we're getting a little bit closer to the radar, so we may not get an accurate depiction here with that radar beam. So Brad, we may have to switch here back to our WSB Storm Tracker 2H.
Yeah, that's shooting over some of it there. Yeah. One of the other options we have is the terminal Doppler from the airport, and not showing as well. So I think our best bet is to stick with the FFC radar. But let's come in a little bit closer here. You see around Creekwood, that's where we have the rotation now. That's Andrew Bailey Road spreading towards the north and east. And then look right here, so here's Peachtree City, right side of your screen. So just a little bit of a local knowledge and information for those of you in Peachtree City. And then just back towards the west here, we're talking West Lanier Avenue. What I've circled there, what I mentioned a few minutes ago, that's where the Costco and the Sam's Club are in that location. It just kind of gives you some local perspective. This area of rotation is about 3 miles west of the Sam's Club and the Costco, which is just west of Peachtree City, and it's about 4.5 miles from Peachtree City. However, it's not moving in that east-southeasterly direction. It actually has a little bit of a northward tendency as it tracks towards the east. So it looks like the worst of this storm is going to pass a little bit north of downtown Peachtree City. So if you live just north of the downtown area, you're likely in the primary threat area over the next few minutes. Yeah,
we have some very heavy rainfall as well, and you want to stay tuned here at WSB. But if you say you have a satellite dish and you know what happens when you get that rainfall attenuation, you just lose your signal altogether. If that ever happens to you, we're streaming here also on WSB-TV.com. I want to make that perfectly clear, and we can go to our weather app at any point in time and get the accurate warnings as the storms now continue to move to the north and east. Up here in far northern Georgia, severe thunderstorm warning has expired here. We're now looking at very heavy rainfall continuing through Pickens County, parts of northwestern Cherokee County. More very heavy rainfall here in Bartow, and again, possibly some stronger straight-line winds as we're crossing Interstate 75 to the north of Cartersville. So this is an area that has been inundated by very heavy rainfall throughout much of the day, in excess of 5 inches at times. So
going to look at this. This tornado circulation is almost occluding there, it looks like, on itself.
Absolutely is. Wrapping around here. So Fisher Road over toward West Lanier Avenue, Cobblestone Creek, Greer's Mountain, Stony Brook Plantation, really in the path of the storm as that's the direction it's moving into. So
let me do an updated storm track here.
Okay, we're still doing about 40, 45.
Yeah, this one's moving at about 50 miles an hour now, so 50, I need to give a little wider perspective to fit that in.
So there we go. So you can see the path that we're going to draw here. It's moving up toward 50 miles an hour now, so east-northeast. That takes it toward Tyrone in 5 minutes. Fayetteville, 13 minutes now. Jonesboro, 22 minutes. Bonanza, 22 minutes. Morrow, 24 minutes. And Lake City, 25. So we don't have a lot of time to prepare here. This is a damaging tornado. This is a big one, folks, and you really need to take this one seriously. Lowest floor possible, away from windows and doors. Please get something to protect your head, protect the kids, bring them into the interior part of the house, closet, anything will do, just as long as you're as far away from exterior walls as possible, lowest floor possible as well. So there it is, right here, about ready to cross over the county line here from Coweta into Fayette County. It'll be just to the south of Tyrone, maybe just to the northwest of Peachtree City, and again, just to the west of Fayetteville here in Fayette County. It's not going to take much for this storm to be nudged right over the line, heading right for Fayetteville. The air here, again, is extremely unstable with this very warm environment, still temperatures in the mid-70s here. So that's where the tornado warning is. So Fisher Road, so if you live over here, it's towards Stony Brook Plantation, Greer's Mountain, Cobblestone Creek, you need to be at your safe place right now. Downstream, Lester Road, Davis Road, Bridger Point, all these areas in the path of the storm right now as it crosses out of Coweta into Fayette County. So the tornado warning extending now, very evident on the radar where the green and the red are very close together. And we saw wind speeds up in that EF4, EF5 range near 150 miles an hour. So again, if you can equate that with just a minimal hurricane with a hurricane force wind of 75 miles an hour, double that speed, double the speed. So again, very powerful, really a circulation, the green and the red right here again. So that's moving toward, looks like Kendron Drive, Stony Brook Plantation, Fayetteville Estates. We have
look, Glenn, it's crossing into Fayette County right now, and that's right along Line Creek, Lake Tyrone, and so looking at some of the the neighborhoods and businesses in this area, just to give you a little bit of local information. So we've got Sharpsburg Muffler, Site One Landscape Supply, excuse me, City Electric Supply in Peachtree City, just north of downtown. That's just west of the Kroger, Target, Chick-fil-A there that is on that corner. Yeah, so if you live anywhere around this, you need to seek shelter immediately. Dogwood Church, one of the areas or one of the landmarks in this area. Yeah, again, this has been a horrific night. I know, here we're at 12:30 at night almost, and we're at night. We can't see what's going on out there. The anxiety level's up. I just need you to remain as calm as possible. Make sure the kids are calm as possible if you're in the path of the storm. Always take you to the lowest floor possible. You just get away from any kind of exterior walls. And the lowest floor possible is because we've had so much tree damage with the trees falling on collapsing homes this afternoon in that area up around Polk County and southern Floyd and Bartow County. So again, this has had a history of producing long track tornadoes. We're on now with this one, which has been tracking on the ground for almost 90 minutes. So again, very powerful storm here. So let's see, look at the road here. Minix Road over towards Sonoya Road. Then we have Joel Cowan Parkway, Smoke Rise Plantation, Stony Brook Plantation, Parkway Estates. So all these areas in the path. And this is a bad storm. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a dangerous storm, and I'm not going to coat anything with sugar here. Very powerful storm. We saw the velocities as we measured as we were very close to the radar, which really I think depicted a more accurate representation, being close to the radar like that of 140, 150 mile per hour storm here, hard tornado. So that is double the speed of a Category 1 hurricane. So that is a very powerful storm. So please, Loring Lane, Fayetteville Estates, West Lanier Avenue, Lloyd Road, anything sound familiar? Yeah, if you live in those areas, take cover immediately. So this is now moving into Fayette County. Very powerful storm with some straight line winds. Let's go back radar to the standard mode of reflectivity. Again, I want to point out that we have some strong straight line winds here. Now, it's getting very close to the radar site here. So there's the Peachtree City radar site that we're using, and we can get a little more accurate representation of a storm when it's closer to the radar. So it's closest to the Peachtree City radar. With our Doppler 2 radar network, we can go in and peer inside the storms with a little closer range and a little better accuracy of the structure of the storm. That's why we're using the Peachtree City radar now. But really want to point out
powerful straight line winds. The green and the red very close together on Sonoya Road, Joel, Cowan Parkway, Smoke Rise Plantation, Lloyd Road. There we go to, looks like, I can't see under that one. Could be Pierce something Parkway, the Stony Brook Plantation.
That's
Parkway,
Peachtree Parkway, Glenn.
Peachtree Parkway.
Yeah.
So again, there's the storm. Loring Lane, now right in it. So Loring Lane, boy, that's right over you now. Country Downs, just to the southeast of you. So Fayetteville Estates, you're in the path of the storm. West Lanier Avenue, you're in the path of the storm. Now moving to the north of the Peachtree City area, just a little bit north. So again, moving rather quickly at around 50 miles an hour. Brad, you say that picked up a little.
Yeah, that's right.
Speed?
Moving at about 50 miles an hour.
So a tornado emergency was declared in Newnan in Coweta County when it rolled on through, and we're looking at Shoals Road here off Flat Shoals Road. So very heavy rainfall continues to fall. I'm surprised that actually we see this much traffic at 12:30 at night on a Thursday night, but there you see it. Locally, could be some ponding on the roadways at times for sure with the locally heavy rainfall as well. But then the good news is we really haven't had a lot of rain in this area this afternoon. So the ground is not saturated like it is in northwestern Georgia. So again, a little tougher time for the trees to go down, but with a wind speed that's approaching 140, 150 miles an hour, yeah, it's not going to take much to down some trees there. So we're getting very close to Fort Fayetteville Estates now, Smith's Crossroads. Downstream from that, we have West Lanier Avenue, Hood Avenue, Forest Estates, Brookcliff, Quail Hall. So here's the tornado right here. And again, if you're just joining us, if it's waking you up and you're saying, what happened? We've been tracking a tornado for the last 90 minutes. It's been on the ground, 90 minutes. That is a very substantial, long track and powerful tornadoes with wind speeds of 140 to 150. They declared a tornado emergency in Coweta County.
Hey, Glenn, let me add something to that. Tornado emergency now in effect for Peachtree City, Fayetteville, and Tyrone, Georgia. So tornado emergency now for Peachtree City, Tyrone, and Fayetteville. Seek shelter immediately if you haven't already. Lowest level of your house, basement, your best choice, if not your ground floor. Lowest level of your house, interior room, away from windows. Again, tornado emergency in effect for Peachtree City, Tyrone, and Fayetteville. And this continues, that tornado emergency continues until 12:45, 15 more minutes unless it's extended.
All right, Brad, let's zoom out a little bit, give folks a perspective of where this actually is and where it might be going. So here we are. You can see the tornado warning that's moving out of Coweta County. For all intents and purposes, we're done here in Coweta. That tornado warning will be canceled there likely in short order. Now we're moving in toward the airport here. No doubt going to be some stoppages here for sure. So as it continues, so here's a look at the airport. I'm not seeing any lightning here, but I'm not seeing any planes either. So hopefully they're bringing some of the hangars if they can. I'm sure there's a lot of planes that are out of the tarmac right now that could be subject to some powerful winds here. But again, they're airplanes and they travel in very fast conditions of 600 miles an hour, right? So over toward Forest Park. Now as we get toward Clayton County, Brad, it looks like it was now been extended into Clayton County, that tornado warning. Let's zoom on down a little bit there. Yep, I think it has been extended toward the east. Yep. Right here, it does include Riverdale.
Well, Glenn, that's not an extension. It has been in effect for southwestern Clayton County, but it is getting a little closer to that area now.
Yep, so Riverdale, Forest Park seeing some heavy rainfall here. Stockbridge, now you're downstream from this. You're on a direct trajectory for the center of the storm where the tornado is. So Stockbridge, thinking about your plan right now. I'm not going to wait here for the warning to be issued. I'm going down to my safe place right now. So we're looking at Hartsfield Jackson, live pictures from the airport there. We're looking at northern Henry County now around Stockbridge being in the path of this long track tornado, and some stronger straight line winds evident here as well going toward Fayetteville. Just to the west-northwest of Lovejoy. So be on the alert here for some straight line winds that are also very powerful, probably on the order of 60+ miles per hour. So in addition to that, some heavy rainfall. So some folks might be concerned up in northern Georgia. What's happening now? I know we've seen some very heavy rainfall with frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Let's zip up there for a couple of seconds here just to show folks what's happening up there with the flooding issues and where those storms are now. So again, we're all free and clear right now through Dalton and Rome. You'll notice the tornado watch has been canceled now for much of Alabama. In fact, looks like all of eastern Alabama out of the tornado watch. Still, may be canceled here in northwestern Georgia in short order. Still some strong winds I would see here in northwestern Bartow approaching northwestern Cherokee County. No warnings in effect, but just a rain train continuing now up toward White County, Lumpkin County. Just some very heavy rainfall there, but no active warnings. So this is an area that has flood warnings, but nothing as far as wind threats go. Here again is what we're tracking with the tornado warning covering northern parts of Fayette County, the extreme southern part of Fulton County as well, into Clayton County covering Riverdale. So again, we're moving up very close to the airport now. We're very close to the radar site, so maybe not getting some signatures there, but there you see it, the circulation there.
It's right about, appears to be right about here right now.
It's tough to see right now with that close proximity.
Smith's Crossroads.
Yeah, right around here. Yeah, I'm seeing that. So there's Fayetteville. Will likely pass maybe to the north of Fayetteville, this general direction, but no doubt going to see some strong winds associated with the tornado itself. And Brad and I were measuring that. If you were with us earlier when we were tracking the storm, the width of this tornado is about a half a mile. It's a half a mile wide, and the winds are up around 150, 140 miles an hour. So on this storm track, the trajectory from that spot puts it into Fayetteville in 4 minutes, Jonesboro in 12 minutes, Bonanza 12 minutes, Stockbridge 20 minutes, Flippin 22 minutes, Flintlock 22 minutes, and Richardson 28 minutes. So again, what we want to do here is take cover immediately if you live in any of these areas. The tornado warning now for Fayette County and now right on up into Clayton County as well. So this is a very long track tornado. It's been on the ground for better than 90 minutes as we tracked it out of Randolph County in Alabama. So there's the storm track. We see some locally heavy rain, strong gusty winds. Brad put it back into the correlation coefficient. See if we do. Can't see any.
It's hard to pick up because we're so close to the radar site.
Yeah, it is.
We're only sampling the lowest level of the storm.
Once it starts to move away, we're using the Peachtree City radar site right now because it's the closest. There's that circle that you can see maybe a little bit down there. That's the Peachtree City radar site. We want to be as closest to the storm as possible.
That's the approximate location
right there. So that's the approximate area. So once it starts to move a little bit further to the east, we are likely going to see a little better depiction of the structure of the storm there, but that's pretty much where we think the tornado is located now. So that'll be just not too far from Fayetteville, and on a direct line here, if it moves in that direction toward Jonesboro, possibly into the northern part of Henry County. But regardless of the tornado, we still have a strong straight line wind threat as well, moving through that area with locally heavy rainfall and some intense cloud-to-ground lightning. Let's put the lightning tracker on, Brad. We take a look at some of that lightning here and see what that's been doing here. So total lightning strikes, wow, that is really decreased here from 200 to 28 and not too long a time here. So that's a general decrease in the lightning across that storm. That is a rather dramatic decrease. So much of the lightning here displaced from that storm, now going on up toward Forest Park there and just to the northeast of Riverdale in Clayton County. So that may be moving in toward the lower end of 285 there. But again, 29 lightning strikes after we saw 200 in a 15-minute time period just about 20 minutes ago. So Forest Park, heavy rainfall, Stockbridge getting set to get some of that heavy wind. There's some strong straight line wind likely in that little gradient there.
Glenn, we can drop some of these counties from our bottom banner here. You can see that warning as this has moved, some areas have been dropped. So Coweta County is no longer in this warning. Neither is South Fulton County. So right now we're focused on Fayette and Clayton counties. In particular, it's northeastern Fayette, just near and to the northeast of Fayetteville, and back into western sections of Clayton County. So Fayette and Clayton counties now under this tornado warning.
All right, so again, very heavy rainfall continues. There's actually another storm back here in Douglas County. It's not a severe thunderstorm, but very, very capable of producing some gusty winds and a lot of heavy rainfall here. But I want to, if you're being awakened by that storm here in Douglas County, about ready to move into the southwestern part of Fulton County, not severe, but it is producing some locally heavy rainfall. So in case you wake up, the anxiety level goes, is that going to be severe? No, that's not the case there. That is moving into a more stable environment. But here again is the tornado warned storm now. The tornado warning shrinking in size here to cover the west and southwestern part of Clayton County. So Riverdale, you're not in it anymore. Forest Park, you're not in it anymore. But again, this is an area for Jonesboro to be concerned about, and maybe just to the north of McDonough here in the extreme northern part of Henry County. That's where the storm is going to be heading next. But again, where we have the warm front is right here, so still a few miles left of some really warm temperatures. Again, at the airport, we're looking at 75 degrees right now at Hartsfield-Jackson at 12:37 at night. So again, very warm, very unstable atmosphere across northern Georgia. We're looking at the airport right now here and not seeing any lightning, but certainly see where the warm front is. No doubt about that, right? We have cool lower 60s here in Canton to Gainesville to Blairsville. A little warmer up now toward Rome. This is maybe the warmer air starting to lift back to the north, but all the rain, storms, they're done there. We're 71 degrees, so we'll probably have to change that to 75 to 71. So mid-70s here. We'll continue through Griffin, lower 70s toward Eaton and Troup County, West Point. We're at 74 degrees. So the warm front right in this area here, there's where the storm is, and as it lifts now to the north and east, temperature slightly cooler, but not all that much, still in the lower 70s. So a lot of fuel to the fire here for these storms, these nocturnal thunderstorms that are moving into the heart of Atlanta as we speak. So back to our reflectivity mode we go. And let's take a look at where the rain has ended. So I know you maybe want to go to sleep. You got to get up early. So again, back out to the west here. Nothing here in Alabama. Northwestern Georgia, let's say Ellijay, maybe toward Calhoun, into Adairsville or Rome, over toward Buckhannon. Free and clear, no problem at all. I expect this part of the watch to be canceled in short order. Still some very heavy rainfall here, though, in the northeastern part of Bartow, North Cherokee, on up toward Dawson County, Lumpkin County, into White County, heading up toward Rabun County. You can see the general motion here, but this is not severe. This is just locally heavy rainfall. Again, there's the shrinking tornado warning area, so really shrinking in size. And we saw the intensity of the lightning also shrinking in numbers, so not as much quite as the lightning has been concerned. That's a nice showing for a weakening trend with this particular cell. So again, maybe some good news as it's moving a little bit farther north, maybe just to the border where that warm front is, and not so much of the southern areas where the temperatures were a lot warmer as we headed down toward Randolph County in Alabama. So this is where it's moved out of. And again, we're on the air since 11 o'clock. That's when we started with the tornado warning. And here we are at 12:40 in the evening. And as we get into Friday morning, we're still tracking the same storm. So these have been rather long track tornadoes. The one that we tracked in Alabama I began with meteorologist Brian Monahan at 1:30 in the afternoon, and it was on the ground for 150 miles. So that was one powerful storm there. And again, as it moved into northwestern Georgia, into that colder air, that's when it dissipated, but not until then. So 3 hours is when we were tracking a tornado. That is the first for me. Usually there are maybe 20, 30 minutes and we're done. So let's head back down to the tornado warned area that's shrinking in size a little bit here. Brad, what are they saying at the Weather Service? You're seeing any thing about a
No updates there.
No
Head
update
past
there?
north of their office, so that's good for them.
Yeah, still a little bit of structure here. There's the inflow notch that's coming in. Winds coming in here. Heavy rain across Jonesboro, but it does not look as impressive. I know we're very close to the radar, which again is not a good thing when it's that close, but once it makes its departure to the northeast, I'm really not seeing any identifiable features here now that would say we have a tornado anymore at all.
No, and in fact, I'm switched over now to the terminal Doppler radar for the airport. Give us a little distance from the radar site, and you can see not showing the rotation right now, so that is an encouraging sign.
Yeah, let's go back to reflectivity on that one. I want to see if
on
we
the
have
terminal Doppler?
Yeah, on the terminal Doppler. Still possibly some straight line wind here from Jonesboro back down just to the west-northwest of Lovejoy. Fayetteville, I think you're okay. I think you're all right. So, yeah, heavy rain now continues on up toward the west and northwest of Jonesboro into Morrow on the south side of 285 there. But again, this looks like a rapid weakening here. And we got that also from the lightning counter. Let's put the lightning counter on, Brad, and let's run this time lapse back, say 30 minutes or so. Let's see if we can see what's happened here with the storm as it moved to the north and east with the lightning on it. Can we put? Yeah, there you see. Let's start back again. You see, look at that decrease now. We have 9 strikes here. So that is dramatic. You remember, if you were with us here 20, 30 minutes ago, we were tracking over 200 lightning strikes in a 15-minute time period, and now we're down to 8, so no positive strikes. So the storm intensity appears to be dwindling. Some good news there. Maybe moving along a little bit to the north of the warm front itself, which is straddling Atlanta, has been doing that all day, never moved much north of I-20 throughout much of the afternoon. And again, we're still 71 degrees at the airport. Still some hail possible in that, or could be some debris in that. But again, 2 lightning strikes out of this view here in the last 15 minutes, a very encouraging sign. And the gradient here is expanding a little bit. You still see some gradient from green to red in a short distance, but that has expanded quite a bit from what it was just about 15 minutes ago. So that is another good sign. So we're looking at total lightning strikes of 2, possibly some small hail embedded in the storm, locally heavy rainfall. But yeah, Brad.
Yeah, excuse me. Let me just interrupt. As we were describing the lack of rotation as we checked the radar, the National Weather Service just sent out a statement that, of course, they agree and that the storm has weakened below severe limits, no longer capable of producing a tornado. So for those of you watching in the South Metro, the tornado threat now has come to an end. There are no immediate tornado threat there in the South Metro. That is over. The tornado warning is being canceled now. It's been a long, rough stretch here for the last couple of hours with confirmed tornadoes. We've had tornado emergencies stretch from Newnan through Peachtree City, Tyrone, and Fayetteville. That storm, Glenn, has finally weakened, and the tornado warning is being canceled now.
Yeah, still on the ground here for an hour and 15 minutes, though. That was a very long track tornado. But again, if you want to go to bed, okay, we're seeing some heavy rain right now, but the tornado warning about to be canceled, not capable of producing a tornado any longer. Still the heavy rain threat here in the eastern part of Douglas County and the west-southwestern part of Fulton County. And now we got some pretty good rainfall here south to Cab, stretching along I-20 toward the east, just south of Verdun. And that extends back into Rockdale County, moving toward the east-northeast at about 50 miles per hour as well. So mainly the heavy rain threat will continue for some time, but the tornado warning being canceled, as Brad told you. So things are really improving. And I also want to show you, if we can zoom out a little bit more, show much of Alabama, the tornado watch. Done, gone out of here in Alabama. That's the last of the storms now moving through Atlanta. So nothing developing behind here. The more active weather continues on up through eastern and middle Tennessee. That's where the more dynamic wind profiles are located here, with the main storm system itself winding up and dragging the cold front across northern Georgia now. So that is what we're looking at now. That's the system set up here. We're looking for decreasing rain chances, decreasing storm risks as we head over the next couple of hours. So the storm threat appears to have maximized, and we are pretty much set and done. Let's see. Yep, the tornado warning is gone. So good news there. Just in time, did not move into Henry County, nor did it move into DeKalb or Rockdale County. Still a very long track storm. And it started here, just to the west-southwest of Randolph County, moved right up there, and right here is where it is now. But again, a fizzling thunderstorm. No more threat here. The major threat is up here. We still see some pretty significant cloud-to-ground lightning. Brad, let's zoom into Lumpkin County, White County, and southeastern Union County up here in northern Georgia. I still see a significant lightning threat here, along with a very heavy rain threat. Put the lightning tracker on here. Yeah, 77 lightning strikes in this view. That's in the last 15 minutes with locally heavy rainfall. Still a pretty good, decent gradient here from the green to the red. So that's moving through Pickens County, northern Cherokee County, around Lake Arrowhead, those areas, stretching through northern Dawson County, much of Lumpkin County, seeing some locally heavy rainfall here. That extends into White County, eventually into Rabun County. But this is just rain. It's moved into an environment that is not conducive to development. Temperatures up here in the low 60s, so kind of a little wedgy up here in northeastern Georgia. So this should come to an end in short order in the next 30 minutes or so. But
one thing is, kind of interesting, Glenn, is this: now that this tornado warning was allowed to expire in the South Metro, for the first time in a long time, there are no tornado warnings anywhere in the U.S. right now.
Wow.
Look at quite a day of tornado outbreaks, and
check out.
We should just take a moment to recognize that.
Yeah, just for fun here, for a second here, zoom back out to the western United States. Look at the snow Look at the snow coming from Montana down through Colorado, Denver, getting more snow. So this is why we're having this weather war here, because we have this La Nina. When this La Nina pattern sets up, we usually find very cold air out here, which stays chilled because all the snow is still on the ground. So these cold fronts come sliding down to the south and east, and they stay really robust until they move on through. And then when we collide with the warm air that's over us now, we have the weather war, and that's what we end up with, significant tornado threats. So again, last week we had one that kind of busted because of the wedge was in place. Today we had colder air in northern Georgia too, and that helped prevent a really significant outbreak in this area here. So what we got today here in southern Floyd, Bartow, over toward Polk County, say northern Paulding, perhaps parts of Haralson County, that's where we had the threat for really damaging winds, and that's where we had significant damage today. Fortunately, no one was hurt here in Georgia. And I really, it has been a big tragedy in Alabama. We've had 5 people, 5 fatalities in Alabama as a result of the weather. And these folks were warned that the storms were coming. But when you get these winds of 140, 150 miles an hour, really nothing above ground survives. And we had numerous trees going down on homes. It was just really, really bad, especially in and around Birmingham in Alabama. So again, but the good news tonight, if you're just joining us now, we have the tornado warning ending. We have just more or less rain now that's occurring, a little bit of cloud-to-ground lightning. More of the lightning is here in far north and northeastern Georgia. But go to bed. Take the night off. You're good now. No more threat for strong and severe storms, and we do expect the watch here in northwestern Georgia. I would expect that to be canceled. There's nothing moving in that general direction. Still some rain coming up toward Gainesville, maybe toward Athens. The tornado watch continues there. Not sure for how much longer, but Carrollton, we're just seeing some rain now. Southern part of Haralson County as well. That's moving along I-20 here to the northeast at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. Some heavy rain also in Heard County down through northern Troup County, but those are just showers now. Not even a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning that I can see, Brad. Do you see anything heading in those counties around Cleburne or Randolph County? Any concern there?
No, and there is a little bit of cloud-to-ground lightning in that, just west of Randolph County, and certainly some heavy rain. Let's check it out here, and we can put on the velocity. Yeah, no rotation within that. So
that's certainly
that's
some good news. Very good news. And let's check back to see, again, some of the velocities that are occurring as that moves again into a more stable environment here. Still seeing quite a bit of cloud-to-ground lightning here.
Yeah, those are gusty winds there, south DeKalb, northern Henry County, but not rotating.
No, and they're below severe limits, too. So we may be seeing 30, 40 mile an hour winds. The good news is we have not seen the heavy rain like we have in northern Georgia today. So really not a big threat for trees going on down on homes. You have a good root support system. The ground has not been saturated, but it certainly has been here in northwestern Georgia. And I want to take you back to what we saw today across the area. Some incredible rainfall amounts, Brad, if we could show some of those here that moved through
give me just a second, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I'll set that up. I know I caught you off guard there, but you see that swath of orangey red from Bartow back into Floyd and northern Polk County. Yeah, that was some heavy rainfall, to be sure, over 5 inches in some areas, and that's why we had such a significant problem here this afternoon. It had started, the rain had really started about 5 hours earlier than expected. So that did a couple of things up here. First of all, it stabilized the air. That was the best part of that all. Now, we had to pay the price because we had extensive flooding in this area because of that heavy rain and the duration of the rain. And when we had these cells, these supercells and regular thunderstorms, they were moving in a northeastern direction, and one was following the other, just like a freight train. So we call that training. So we did have this training here. We saw these extensive rainfall amounts, and we had the strong winds. And of course, we had the tornadoes moving out of Alabama into that area. That's why we saw such significant damage and trees and homes and power lines and all of that going down. And I was watching some videos earlier where we had the water just going like a river down streets, and we saw storm sewer blow open like that because of the explosion of floodwaters coming down the sewers. So more than the systems could withstand for sure today. But again, that's all said and done. The water should start to recede, but could be kind of nasty out there tomorrow morning. So I want to avoid that, going out in bare feet or something. So again.
Hey, Glenn, so we've got some video in. Now, this is from Newnan in Coweta County, or a picture rather, Thompson Street. And what you're looking at here are trees down in Newnan across the street. Thompson Street right now is impassable because we've got a significant amount of damage there. These are just the first pictures that we're getting in from Coweta County, Newnan. Recall that not too long ago, we were talking about the tornado emergency for Newnan. We were tracking the tornado on the ground as it crossed Coweta County, moved through Newnan. So these are the very earliest reports we're getting in now of some damage there. So appears to be numerous trees down, a lot of debris strewn across that area on Thompson Street, and Thompson Street itself is impassable. As a side note, also getting some damage reports in the last few minutes from earlier from Bartow County, and it appears there was some significant damage and possibly a tornado that touched down this afternoon in Bartow County. So we had that significant damage in Polk County around Cedartown. We had Bartow County to that. Now we're getting some early reports in Coweta County. We've got a lot of work to do tomorrow to assess the damage, survey the damage, and see where, in fact, those tornadoes touched down. And then there's unfortunately likely a lot of our friends and neighbors, a lot of folks that are going to be dealing with some cleanup and some aftermath here over the next several days. It's going to take some time for us to work through this.
People's lives certainly been changed for sure today across the southeast, especially in Alabama and northwestern Georgia. Brad, let's take a look back in time here. So we saw all that damage there in Newnan and around Coweta County. Let's zoom in down toward Newnan and run the clock backward and take a look at that velocity mode so we can show people what they really got in Coweta County and Newnan.
There,
yeah, about right there. Let's kind of zoom on down. And there is what prompted the tornado emergency. So there is probably the tornado right here.
That was at 12:08.
Yeah, so there it is. So again,
it would have been then or perhaps just before that. Yeah, so there you go. So we're 12:05, 12:06, 7, 8, so just a few minutes after midnight, tornado crossing right over Newnan.
Yeah, let's zoom down even further here. We may be able to see some of the areas that it actually crossed here. Street level, East Broad Street, let's see.
LaGrange Street.
Jackson Street.
Yeah.
So this was the area. Here we are.
That's Martin Luther King Jr. Drive there, just southeast of downtown. Greenville Street, Sewell Street.
Query that pixel right here. Take a look at that wind speed that was moving through that area. That's 84 miles an hour. That's pretty impressive there. So that's.
But look at that 70. So you're 80 miles an hour in opposite directions, and that's got to be half a mile.
Yeah, half a mile wide.
Yeah.
We measure that. Remember with the debris signature.
There you can see it right there.
So again, that's within a half a mile. So that's in the category EF5, EF4, high EF4. That is one powerful storm. That's why we had the highest level warning possible, which was the tornado emergency. So this is, again, look at the clock there, was about just after midnight. You know, there's nothing worse than severe thunderstorms. There's nothing worse than tornadoes. But when they happen in the middle of the night and you can't go to sleep and you can't see anything, that's the bad part. So I'm glad we were here, and I'm hoping you were tuned in because that's what we're looking at through the evening hours. And that's the tornado that, again, began in southwest of Randolph County in Alabama. It was a long track tornado that was on the ground for about 90 minutes. So again, very long track tornado. And now I know you're probably saying, I'm getting kind of scared up here. A lot of heavy rainfall and up around Dawson County, through Lumpkin County, White County, Rabun, Habersham, maybe northern Habersham. Could be a little gradient of strong wind here, maybe 30, 35 miles an hour or so, but nothing severe. Your main threat here is going to be locally heavy rainfall. So if you're concerned here about any threat, do not be, because you're in an environment where we have some really cold air up here. Let's take a look at some of those temperatures up here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pull that up. But before I do, Glenn, we should point out the watch has been dropped there in northwest Georgia.
Yep, thought that would happen here in short order. Indeed it did. So again, so that's some good news there to give you a little peace of mind. We dropped down to 70 degrees here in Atlanta, so that little temperature bug there is incorrect. That's 70. South of I-20, still that warm air present. But look what those storms are up in northeastern Georgia. We're 61 in Blairsville, 63 in Gainesville, Canton at 64. So that nice pocket of cold air is very stable. So anything up there is not going to develop. Really no chance of that. There's no energy. And the main dynamics of the wind and the shear are still way back here across Tennessee now. So it's moving out of the sheared environment. It's moving into colder air. We don't have any problems here. So again, I know it's raining. I know there's lightning and thunder, some gusty wind, but do not fear. This is not in a tornado environment, and nothing is expected here as far as a tornado threat. So we're looking at temperatures holding in the 70s here along into the south of I-20. But the good news is there are no longer any tornado warnings for the South Metro, and we are free and clear of that. So some peace of mind. If you want to go to bed here, please do so. Let's put back into the warning area, or the watch area rather. So Bartow, we're out of it. Polk County, everybody to the north and west there, no longer in the tornado warning watch area. So it's Carrollton and maybe southeastern Haralson County around along I-20. We have some rain there. That's going to be pretty much it, just another band of rain. This is the actual cold front itself that is moving into northwestern Georgia, so some drier, more stable air now moving here. Still some pretty good rainfall, Rockdale County over toward Walton County, but I don't even see any threat there for any straight line wind at all. So again, we're looking pretty good here. There are heavier rain still extends back down toward Coweta County, so that may be hindering cleanup a little bit. That extends into Heard County, and heavy rain along I-20 to the west here as we stretch out for Paulding County, southern Paulding. Now be approaching maybe central Fulton County, South Cobb in short order, but that's just some rain, so no need to be concerned there. I would expect that the tornado watch to be canceled as these storms will continue to shift toward the east over the next several hours. So one by one, these counties likely going to be dropped here. But for the now, I just want to give you some peace of mind that we don't have any more threat from stronger severe storms across northern Georgia. Just some heavy rain right now across northern Dawson County, Lumpkin County, White County, and as we head over toward Rabun County around Lake Rabun, that'll be approaching Lake Hartwell here in South Carolina in short order as well. So moving on out. So Ella J, go to bed. Up here around Blue Ridge, go to bed. Around Blue Ridge Lake, Blairsville, Union County, bye. See ya tomorrow morning. Paulding County, you're free and clear. Haralson County, free and clear. Looks like we're in pretty good shape here in Cherokee County as well. Nothing moving in our direction of any concern. But again, if you live in Athens toward Gainesville, maybe some rain, but that is going to be pretty much it. So just back with us now. 1 a.m. here. We've been tracking these storms since 11 o'clock tonight. We've been on the air continuously for the last 2 hours again. So heavy rain is the threat here. Let's take a look at some of the lightning. Still think there might be a little bit up here across the counties. About 68 strikes in that view. And again, no positive lightning strikes, negative are 69. So, Brad, we got some more pictures coming in from the Coweta County area.
Yeah, this is the same picture we showed a few minutes ago. This is in Newnan, Thompson Street, where reports that what this is a picture of is trees down across Thompson Street, which has closed the road. And it looks like there's some debris scattered about, but we can't tell from this grainy picture precisely what that is. But it's our first glimpse of the damage that occurred earlier tonight around Newnan. Remember, we had a tornado emergency in the Newnan area earlier tonight. That storm is no longer severe. In fact, we have no tornado warnings across our entire area right now. The tornado watch is what you're seeing there in the dark red. That's scheduled to expire at 2 o'clock. We're already seeing several of those counties have been canceled early, specifically northwest Georgia. And as Glenn pointed out, that rain in northeast Georgia is in this area with some cooler air, a little more stable atmosphere. Yeah. So we're watching it. The risk there is a little bit lower.
Now, probably in Habersham County, maybe 20, 30 mile an hour wind there. Down, that's pretty much it, northern part of Hall County, just north of Lake Lanier there. Maybe some lightning going on here in Rabun County, waking you up tonight, but not even any hail depictions up there. But you have some serious cloud-to-ground lightning to deal with up around Rabun County. Not so much as we see as right here in the northern part of Rockdale County, maybe northwestern Walton County as well. Some cloud-to-ground lightning, but I don't even see a gradient for any strong wind there at all. So the danger, for the most part, said and done. We're good for the day. Now we have to wait for the next round, and I'm concerned here too because each and every day we will have a risk for rain. So we have a lot of saturated ground with this rainfall event of 4 or 5 inches of rain in northwestern Georgia. Rain likely to pick up again as we head into the weekend, especially on Sunday, where we do see a chance for more showers and storms. And right here in downtown, in midtown Atlanta, that's the storm here that's producing, I can hear some thunder. So in Atlanta now, so it may be waking you up here. stretching from East Point on to Atlanta into extreme western DeKalb here. A little thunderstorm here, but it is not severe, and I'm not seeing any potential for strong gusty winds either. Let's take a look at there's our Midtown Tower cam. Let's see if we can see some of that lightning here. It's not as frequent as it was with the storms that were occurring earlier tonight, but again, we have the heart of the city here. We're showing you the city lights. On a dark and stormy night in Atlanta, you can see the rain coming down a little bit on the bubble around our tower cam, but not a great deal of lightning. We just had one lightning strike here in the last couple of seconds, but that is pretty much going to be it. But the heavy rain, that's coming down to the heart of Atlanta now, so right along the connector, I-20 west here out of the city, seeing some heavy rain. This will now be moving on toward DeKalb, Stone Mountain, and Redan. But again, this is just some heavy rain, maybe a little lightning, but that is going to be pretty much it. Lightning, though, pretty impressive here across the northern part of Conyers and Covington, and then moving into the western part of Walton County. So, with the warnings expired, I want to thank you for being with us tonight. I hope we served you and protected you well. For meteorologist Brad Nitz, I'm Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns here in Severe Weather Center 2. We are going to leave you right now, and please join meteorologist Brian Monahan tomorrow morning for Channel 2 Action News, beginning at 4:30 a.m. for the latest updates on what happened across northern Georgia this afternoon and tonight as far as damage goes and what the main threats will be as we head into the weekend. So again, that's with Brian Monahan on Channel 2 Action News, beginning at 4:30. Thanks.